Full-time MMA?
MMA.
Nothing
Yeah.
else?
My life, man, yeah.
Back to the daily grind. Thanks for checking out the channel. Make sure to hit subscribe if you're new and hit thumbs up if you're not a baby back bagel biting bitch boy, cause you know what time it is. It's full time.
MMA.
Kickboxing legend Gokhan Saki is comparing his next opponent Khalil Rountree Jr. to a kid playing football in the park. Gokhan Saki said it's like I'm Ronaldo and he just plays football in the park with his friends. Now I'm going to translate that to something I'm more familiar with because, you know, it's always just because I grew up in America or whatever, and especially in the Midwest where there's a bunch of dipshits and dumb shits, fucking everyone calls football soccer. And now, I'm down with calling soccer football, but that's another argument for another day. I do realize we're the only fucking rejects that call it soccer. So, I'm just not used to calling it football. So, we're gonna fucking go to something I'm completely familiar with, and maybe you are too. So, Gokhan Saki on Khalil Rountree Jr. He's saying, it's like I'm LeBron James, and he just plays street ball in the park with his homeboys. So, you get the point. And he's got a good point here. What he's saying is Khalil Rountree Jr. is not on his motherfucking level in the striking department, is what Gokhan Saki is saying. And that's true. I mean, it's kind of, well, that's true because he comes from training it's kind of like Floyd Mayweather fighting somebody that doesn't box. You know what they were saying about Conor McGregor. And it's, or we can go to fucking the kickboxing match that just happened. Rico Verhoeven versus, and Bigfoot Nogueira, or Bigfoot Silva, my bad. You can go to that. Whenever somebody is a kickboxer and they're fighting someone that trains MMA, yes, you're going to have advantage in the striking. But you could say that about Gokhan Saki. If you want to, let's say MMA fighter that has a wrestling base. Well, motherfucker, they're like Ronaldo in wrestling, and you're like the kid that plays football in the park with his friends. In that situation. So, I mean, I understand what he's saying, but that's kind of obvious. You're a kickboxer. Of course you have way better striking than Khalil Rountree Jr. And it's looking like Khalil Rountree, hey, I'm going to go ahead and say it, Gokhan Saki might knock this motherfucker out, yo. Because Khalil Rountree Jr., I did a little bit of research before this video. He's coming off of a 2-fight win streak. Both of them are first-round knockouts. Well, I also looked at like his last 4 fights, and he's got like maybe 1 takedown scored in his last 6 fights even. I've got it up right here. In his last 2 fights, they were both first round knockouts, and he didn't get a takedown, which, you know, he knocked him out in the first round. He's only got 4 UFC fights total, and his first 2 UFC fights were both losses, and now he's on a 2-fight win streak over Daniel Jolly and Paul Craig. But in his loss to Tyson Pedro and his loss to Andrew Sanchez, he scored 0 takedowns. He was actually taken down twice in his fight versus Tyson Pedro, where he was submitted in the first round. So he got taken down 2 times in the first round, and then in his first fight in the UFC, he got taken down 6 times in a decision. So he's usually the one getting taken down, not taking guys down. Therefore, it leads me to believe Khalil Rountree is more, you know, he's more of a striker in MMA. He's not coming in here to wrestle fuck or whatever. And look, his summary on UFC.com says striking. So if you're an MMA fighter that is a striker and you're fighting against a fucking kickboxing legend, some of the people get pissed off when I say that, but if you're even just a kickboxer, someone that was successful in kickboxing, then you're probably going to get outstruck here. And that's what I'm predicting to happen. And so the interesting thing here is, I am Team MMA, you know, the Floyd Mayweather, Conor McGregor shit, I was all Team MMA. I do respect kickboxing a little more than boxing. You know, I mean, just as an MMA fan, it's more closer to MMA because you get to use more than just your hands. But at the same time, it's looking like Gokhan Saki, he's getting, I don't want to say the path paved for him, but you know, whenever Alistair Overeem was talking to Ariel Helwani, he said it depends to, Gokhan Saki's success kind of depends on how the UFC matchmakers treat him. If they let him fight strikers, he'll probably have more success than if he gets thrown to the wolves and has to fight well-rounded fighters that are probably going to try wrestling. And so he's fighting Khalil Rountree, whose summary is striking, you know, so it's looking like Gokhan Saki is getting a little bit of, I don't want to say help from the matchmakers, but he's not getting thrown to the wolves, as Alistair Overeem put it. And so, hey, I'm looking forward to his fight. He'll probably get this W. His first time he goes against a fucking well-rounded like wrestler or something, I'll probably pick him to lose that fight. But this fight here, I'm probably gonna pick Gokhan Saki, man, and he does have a big fan base behind him. There's a lot of people that care about this guy. In his first fight in the UFC, there was a lot of people requesting me to, you know, do that video and shit. And hey, he's had success in his first fight. He knocked out Henrique da Silva, I believe is who he knocked out. He looked like he might have gassed. So Khalil Rountree Jr. does have a chance here, because Gokhan Saki's definitely got to work on his gas tank a little bit. Maybe it was the pressure, whatever the fuck it was. Maybe it was the moment. Maybe it was the difference. He said in kickboxing the rounds are a little shorter, you know, so he's still fighting again this year. So I don't know how much he's going to fix his cardio in the next 2 months or whatever. It's going to take some time to adjust to MMA cardio as opposed to what he was used to. And so maybe if Khalil Rountree Jr. comes in here smart and tries to, you know, let Gokhan Saki tire himself out a little bit in the first round, maybe he can win the fight in the second or third round and maybe even knock Gokhan Saki out. Maybe. But Gokhan Saki's most likely going to get a first round knockout in this fight. That's probably what I'll predict, but who knows, because this fight is a long time away. Well, not too long. It's December 30th, UFC 219, where Conor McGregor is also likely to fight Tony Ferguson. Daniel Cormier is rumored to be fighting Volkan Ozdemir on that card, but for sure on that card we got Dominic Cruz fighting Jimmy Rivera, as well as Carlos Condit's return versus Neil Magny. So UFC 219, where Gokhan Saki's going to be fighting Khalil Rountree, is going to be stacked. We're probably all going to be watching that card anyway, so this is going to be that. And hey, it's a fun fight for sure. This fight most likely going to be a knockout. I can tell you that much. I don't see it going the distance. With that being said, it is what it is. Gokhan Saki saying Khalil Rountree is like a kid in the park and he's like a professional baller in the striking department. Let the haters know what the fuck you talking about in the comments. Oh, I fucked up again. Let the full-time family know what the fuck you talking about in the comments. I'm out. The dudes that hate on the full-time family are the type of dudes that have sex with a pregnant chick and tell their homies they had a threesome.
Bye, Felicia.